What's up, everyone? Well, said once again from PETROCKmedia.com, and today we're going to continue our conversation with PETROCK Assembled. And just as the title suggested, today we're going to talk a little bit about gear and just this trend and fad that I'm seeing on YouTube from these larger YouTubers and their desire to kind of declutter, if you will, or get rid of some of their gear, and their idea that, or they're some kind of like that they're all of a sudden realizing that gear doesn't necessarily matter, and how that phrase can be sometimes taken to heart. And a lot of times people say, well, you know what, I'm gonna be filming with, a film camera, so I'm going old school, and I'm gonna be taking pictures with an old school film camera, and I'm going to, take it right back to the roots and shoot film, and everything's now about film, and they turn into like film snobs. Or quite opposite, and they say, you know what, I'm going to just keep one camera, sell everything else, keep one camera. And that phrase of gear doesn't matter is one of the biggest kind of like pet peeves of mine when it comes to, does gear matter? Now, obviously, and there's a phrase out there as well that says the best camera you can have is the camera that you have with you at all times. Well, if that were the case, then that means that everything is going to be off of your phone. Now, can the iPhone or Android phone, whatever phone you have in your pocket, can that take amazing pictures? Of course. They put in tons and tons of technical specs into these cameras, some of them shooting 100 plus megapixels or whatever they shoot, and they can zoom in, to the moon and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, having your phone with you at all times is the best camera you can have if that's the only camera that you have. There are plenty of YouTubers out there that shoot a ton of their content, years worth of content, with just a phone. There's videos on our channel that we have shot completely with the iPhone, utilizing the iPhone as your main A cam on YouTube. There's amazing apps out there you can buy, 15, 20 bucks, a little bit more sometimes, like Filmic Pro, shoot in log, flat style, color grade. As long as you have a decent lighting source, a decent microphone, your phone can create an incredible video feed and video file that you can then color grade and then post to YouTube. What I'm kind of, it's not frustrated, but what I'm kind of wanting to talk to you guys about is the whole fact that gear doesn't matter, or, limiting the amount of gear that you have. And Sarah Dietschy did an incredible video that I really liked, and one of the phrases that she was looking at is kind of minimizing the gap between the time you decide to create a video, the time you decide to, I want to do a video on this, to hitting the record button. That length of time is what should be shrunk to as low amount and small amount of time as possible. So what I mean by that is, you have an idea, I want to make a video, I want to talk about my new camera. I just bought a brand new, blank camera, and I really want to share my opinion about it. I want to share it out there with the world. So you start deciding, okay, and you start storyboarding, you start writing. You think about, okay, this is what I want to film on, and this is what I want to shoot it on. You pull out your camera, pull out your microphones, you wire yourself up if you're going to utilize a lav mic, you set up the lights, and depending on what that time is from the moment you decide to film to the moment you hit record on your camera, the longer that amount of time usually means that the video has now lost its importance to you, and then you just either A, don't want to film the video anymore, or B, it reflects in your video and you've just decided to just say things that you've scripted and you sound disingenuous, and you no longer have that connection and that drive and that love for that content. And sometimes it can show up in your content. There's different ideologies about it, that the shorter that time frame can be, the better the content will be. And so utilizing lesser gear can sometimes create that, or going more of a minimalistic style of gear. In reality, good microphone, decent camera or your phone, and a pretty decent light, or in some videos that we've even shot here on the channel, straight up open up a window with decent lighting and you're good to go. If you're able to film straight up during the day, you technically then don't really need a light source. You can just utilize, the sun, if you will, or your windows. So these whole fads of, talking about, well, does gear really matter? No, it doesn't. But of course, you're going to need the gear for the job. If you have a camera that does not have great preamps for the microphone, then you're going to definitely want to invest in a microphone. So that's a part where gear does matter. If you cannot film throughout the day because you have outside responsibilities, family, wife, husband, significant other, children, then you'll only be able to shoot at night. Then you're going to want to invest in a decent, main light source. The Godox SL60Ws are great starting points for lights. Just getting regular daylight light bulbs and just putting them through a generic softbox. Great way to do it. A lot of the videos that we started off with doing that is with that type of softbox. And the softbox that we would use had an adapter to where you could put 4 light bulbs. I'd put usually 2 or 3 in there. They're daylight color already built into the light bulb, and they're real cheap. I got them from Walmart or Target. Plug them in. It's a big giant softbox, and it made the light a little bit softer. Now the one thing about those lights is that it didn't have a dimmer, so the power was just straight whatever you plugged it in, so I always had to kind of move the light. But still, we had a cheap light. It cost all of that was about a $30 investment till I was able to get a giant softbox with a grid and the SL60W. And that's a light that we use from pretty much 2 years ago video up until now. We've been utilizing some type of main light, whether it be, like I said, the light bulbs or the SL60W, which is about a year in. But that's where gear doesn't necessarily matter, in the sense that I didn't have to go out and get a big aperture light. You know, I'm not looking for that humongous cinematic look, if you will. My content is strictly about talking about photography, talking about new gear. If we get something new, sharing my experience with you. Should you buy it? Should you not buy it? And just overall, just educating others. For those who want to look for footage, or for those of you who want to look up resources and maybe, you know, utilizing that to decide on if you're going to purchase something. So I've never really been about those incredible, you know, like I said, buying cinematic style cameras for YouTube. You know, like I said, right now we're shooting on a Sony ZV-1. Reason why I got this is that it's a great pocketable camera. It fits literally in my pocket and shoots amazing video. Has a small sensor, obviously a 1-inch sensor. Now it's a little bit bigger than your phone, obviously, also, but still it can produce some amazing video content. And again, content is where you absolutely need to invest your time and efforts in what you're going to film and what you're going to shoot, because the story is going to be the heart and soul of your video. Whatever you're trying to convey to others is what you want to focus on. What you use to film should not necessarily always matter. You shouldn't always be going for the largest DSLR, the largest sensor, the largest... None of that really matters. Look at some of these earlier YouTubers. They started off with just a phone, a webcam, you know, a built-in microphone, and then they slowly, you know, invested in like a little lav mic from maybe Sony or something for like 30 bucks. All of that didn't matter at the time. Their story, the way they spoke into the camera, the way they conveyed their message to you, what they were providing to you as far as information, is really what sold you on their story and on their content. It wasn't the fact that, oh my God, you know, Linus started filming with, you know, a massive, you know, cinematography camera. That's not what you care about. While my computer wakes up, that's not what you care about. What you care about is the story and the content. So the point of this video is simply understanding that, does gear matter? No, but you need the right gear for the job. And the goal is to try and get a setup that is as minimal as possible to allow you to create the best content possible. So that way you have an idea, you think about it, you write a short script or you write your short ideas, and then you should be able to just flick on a switch, hit record on your computer, have your microphone set up, and you can easily go like that and start creating content. Think about that. Start looking at ways to minimize that gap between the day you decide or the time you decide to make a video to the time you hit that record button. And if you can shrink that to within a couple of moments or a couple of minutes, then your content is really going to start taking off. And I can guarantee you, you're going to enjoy creating your videos, because it doesn't feel like a massive undertaking to pull out 50 lights, to pull out, you know, lav mics, and to sync your audio. Right now, the audio is straight into the Sony camera using their preamps. I'm not externally recording. Just hit record, take the memory card, throw it into the computer, and start editing. And the editing process takes 5 to 10 minutes at most, because I do these long rambling videos, cut out a few coughs and things like that, upload it to YouTube, and boom, you guys can start digesting and leaving me those comments down below as well. But that was just the purpose of today's PETROCK assembled video. Thank each and every one of you for stopping on by. Shout out to all the 2,707 people who are subscribed to me as of the making of this video. Catch each and every one of you in the next video. Everybody take care. God bless.